Hey everybody, I'm gonna do a little follow-up. So, excuse me. These are all the little chess pawn pieces that I needed to do for my club, and so I just got done with this guy right here. I just got him finished. So these are the guys that I've been doing. This was the first one. This was the second one. This is, of course, the third one, so I guess I should probably do them like this. Right here for 1, 2, 3. And so they need these. They emailed me the other day and said, "Hey, James, I need those. We got to get them painted." I forgot it was almost May. Hadn't really even thought about it. So here's what I thought I would do. I thought I would get on here while I'm doing this. I'm carving them anyway, so I thought, what the heck, right? Guys, I just used a leather one wrapped with, I got this stuff off of Amazon. General Bandage Incorporated. I don't know if you guys can see that in there or not, but anyway, I go to Amazon and just put like cut resistant tape. It's really good. I bought like a 10-pack roll or something. This was back before inflation, and it wasn't very much, like 10 or 15 bucks. I think it's 20 now, but anyway, you can see that's the stitching part but I just wrap it. It just helps protect it. Otherwise, I'd go through those like crazy. And so what I'm going to do is just finish this out. I just started on this one. This was just a block. This is not the same block, but this was just a block like this. And so what I'm coming in doing is I'm just kind of rounding it so I can, start to get things in shape. And so I just kind of marked where, feet, about where the bottom of the beard will be, bottom of the hat will be. Obviously, there was some dimensions on these. On this piece of paper was what it's supposed to look like. I opted to put in rocks because we live in the Ozarks here in northern Arkansas. If you've never been here, it's not Colorado mountains, but it's a mountainous, very, very rocky soil type situation or area. So I just thought, you know what the heck? We're doing a hillbilly chess set. We're in the perfect place for hillbillies. So anyway, regardless, here we go. People ask me all the time, how long does it take me to carve this stuff? I never know. So maybe I'll know after today. People are always like, man, how long did it take you to do that? I'm like, dude, I don't have a clue. I do this for fun. So I just sit down. I don't, a lot of times I know I do it in an hour or two because that's the time frame a lot of times that I set out. But I'm like, dude, I don't have a clue how long it takes me to do something like this. Guys, look, I'm not really doing a lot of measuring. I don't know. People ask me all the time. They're like, how do you do it without measuring? And I just try to pick points and look at them and just try to make them meet up, on it. So, now here's the hat. Here's what's going to be the head, the face, and then the body, the feet and everything has got to fit in here. The bottom will be the rock. So, excuse me. as I'm just kind of doing this right here to prove to you, you don't have to have all of the soft V's, and all this can be done with knives. There's a lot of, Donald Mertz does a lot of stuff with, if you know who that is, he's an older guy, the would-be carver, really good carver. He does some crazy small stuff. If you've never seen it, you can go check him out and look him up, but he's been carving forever. And you'll see what I'm talking about. But I mean, he does some crazy, crazy small stuff, and now he does have some specialty knives, and you know, and he makes his own knives. Helvey Knives also does some of his knives. I'm gonna be honest, there's not a whole lot I haven't found I can't do with a soft V. This is a Roger Stegall Signature Series 3. This is knife number 36 that I got from Roger. I call Roger a friend of mine. I've carved with him a couple times. Really nice guy, but you know, that upsweep's kind of like, this was an upsweep, but I cut the back out of it, or ground the back out of it some, just to make it a little bit easier. But I didn't want to mess it up either. But upsweeps are really, really handy. Really, really handy little knife to have. Roger uses one a lot, and I got to use one of his when I took a class. He's pretty cool like that, and I thought, man, I really need one of those. So after I got back from the class, I should have bought one at the class, and I didn't. I emailed him and said, hey, if you don't have one, when you get one, will you holler at me? And so he did, and when he got some knives, and anyway, that's how I ended up with this one. But I know I started to talk about safety equipment, guys. These are, if you don't know, these are no cry. I meant to tell you guys, these are no cry gloves. There's an ID. I don't see a model, but they're that same glove that I was wearing. And I'll be open and honest. I had an issue with the glove, and they sent me these as a replacement. They wanted me to try them. Really nice company, really good communication. But anyway, they actually sent me a couple pairs because the first pair got lost in the mail, crazy as that is. And so I did send a pair that I had over to a friend of mine, a longtime family friend over in Memphis, that I thought needed to try one of these. But anyway, if you haven't, look these guys up. No cry, wonderful gloves, really good gloves. These are a little bit stiff to break in, like if you've ever had one of these, but they're one of the best gloves that I've had. I'm really digging this glove. You can see I already got myself and didn't even realize it right there. But even I've used other type of gloves like these. The black doesn't come off like some do in the past, and hopefully it will stay that way. But anyway, just FYI, guys, always wear your safety equipment, gloves, all of it. If you've followed me at all, I've been chainsaw carving. I got some videos up. I don't have anything right now to hold a phone outside, but when you see me chainsaw carving, I'm telling you right now, I ain't playing with no sharp stuff. When I first started out, I got plenty of cuts being stupid and not wearing gloves and stuff like that, and that just don't happen anymore. So always wear your safety gear. Get you some no cries. I'm telling you right now, I'm not sponsored by them. They have been very good to me as far as taking care of my customer service needs, and listening to ideas that I have had for, like, hey, this is what I like in the glove. They've been good about, like, hey, let me send it over to R&D, and maybe we can do something to help correct our product, make it better. So anyway, regardless, I got some stuff I still got to get from them, but anyway, real good company. Don't overlook them. And you can get them on Amazon now. I never used to see them on Amazon, but I'm starting to see them. Apparently, they've gotten hooked up with Amazon, and so now you can get them there, or you can get them straight from their website. Doesn't really matter. I don't think it matters to them either, as long as they're selling product. I do like getting it from Amazon because Amazon has anything over 25 is free if you're a Prime member, obviously. It's free shipping. And so I do like that. Now you can get free shipping on their website, but you got to spend $50 to get it. So a lot of times I don't always spend $50. I may only buy 2 pairs of gloves because they last a while. I may only buy 2 pairs of gloves. That's only like $25. I think these are like $12 a piece or $12.99 a piece or something. So a lot of times I just don't meet the $50 requirement. Anyway, good company. I'm thinking I'm probably going to use these for chainsaw carving as well. They sent me a couple pairs. I've got another pair in there. And I'm thinking that I know they're not going to help me keep from getting cut. I do kind of wonder, and I mentioned it to them about a chainsaw glove because, a lot of injuries happen back here. A lot of it comes from arborists, though, when they're holding onto a tree branch and then they're cutting right here. That saw jumps and comes across and gets them. I'm not doing anything like that. But I do wonder, this material I would guess would snag up in the saw and probably kill it. But anyway, regardless, I'll probably end up using them for it. As I'm not going to lie, I love it when there's a little knot on there like that. It gives your wood so much character. I think some people don't like it. Doesn't take paint real well, but I love imperfections in wood. To me, that is just so beautiful. Guys, give me a second. I got to check on the vacuum. I'm helping my wife. Okay, sorry, I'm back. My wife's got one of those cool robot vacuums. I'm trying to help her while I'm off today. Keep the house up, so anyway. But guys, all I'm really doing here is just rounding the face a little bit. It's going to be a beard. I want to leave as much material as I can possibly leave. Now, I will come in here and start to do the face. And I know people are going to be out here like, James, your face is going to be crooked because you don't keep a center line. And you're right. My faces are always crooked. But my response to that is, have you looked at very many human beings? And since I started carving, I stare at a lot of people, trying to remember noses and what they look like and shapes and things like that. And so with that being said, I come in here Guys, I'm always going to say this in every video because nobody ever told me this the whole time I started carving. Nobody ever said. So if you're a beginner and you're following me, if you're an old timer and you're following me, old timer, you probably already know this. You're probably not following me, or you might be following my work, but you're probably not watching this video. Probably not, at least to this point. But anyway, regardless, excuse me. See these light hand, you got to have them. Light hands, because it does not take much, especially on a small carving like this. It does not take much to screw up a nose. I mean, like, you can whack a nose off or change the look of a nose so drastically, just with one little slip of the knife, or you know, with one crazy cut. I mean, you can really jack some stuff up. So I've got a pencil, and I don't usually draw it, but you know, so like my brow line is going to come across here. I've gotten to where I do my noses extra big because they're always too small when I get done. Some people like to use the knife. I kind of like to use the gouge, or the soft V. Now this is an actual soft V design. This is an eye tool from OCC. But it's this is like a 5/8, I think. It's pretty big. This is, I think, a 3/8 or a quarter. I can't remember. And it's not marked. But same principle. I just try to get them close. Like I said, nobody's ever perfect. And then I just come in here like this, and now I try to take my eyes down close to where my nose is going to be, for the most part. And then I come in here with a little cut just to give me that separation. So look, you can see that right there. That's that little bitty sliver right there. And now all that did, that straightened up my nose. My nose was kind of crooked, but I'm telling you guys, it don't take much at all to really, I mean, watch this. You can make this nose look fairly round just by, can you guys see that? Just by coming in here and just barely, look at that. I mean, you're just barely taking slivers off. And now look at how much more round that nose, and you just keep hitting those high spots until you get it, you know, kind of rounded over. Now I like a fairly, I don't know, Scandinavian maybe type of nose. A Roman nose, I guess, is probably more is what I like. I like the Roman nose. I like that blocky, I don't know. I guess that's what they would be. But anyway, Cartoons to Carving uses a lot of them. And I really like his work. His work is super. So if you do ears, so, you know, like right here is your center. So if you're going to do his hairline for his ear, you know, this is about the center. Your ear is actually behind. I never knew this until I think it was a Dwayne Gosnell class, maybe, I can't remember. When I come in here and cut for my hairline, you're actually the start of where your ear or whatever would be, which I'm not putting ears on these guys. They're too simple. They just want hair on them. So, you know, that helps to, and then I come in here and narrow up that face. Guys, wood carving is really not that hard. It's just learning your cuts. I'm going to move this just a little bit because I'm kind of thinking that kind of crooked on the screen. I probably have been for a while, sorry. And then look, I kind of already established that line, but I'm just going to come in here and reestablish. My hairline. And I can always take it up. I don't think that you can't. You can always take it up a little bit. You're going to round this all anyway. And you can want your back and your shoulders. So all this is going to get rounded. Now don't get too wild and crazy because your feet are going to be in here. So you're going to end up rounding this like this. Crap, I'm off camera, sorry. You're going to end up rounding this so he looks kind of fat and chubby. This is going to end up being rounded, but in here you've got to do some arms, you know, that come around here with some big old hands. Like I said, I probably won't end up drawing any of that, but that's kind of the gist of where you're headed. So now you can kind of see how you narrow out a face if you don't already know. Get comfortable being uncomfortable, guys. Like that cut you just see me made back like this. Not comfortable. I don't like it, but I've learned to live with it, not like it. My cuts are pretty aggressive. I am still considered young in this game. I'm sure there's some younger guys out there than me that may do this, but I'm still considered young, so I've still got some pretty good hand strength. My hands bother me a little bit, but I've still got some decent hand strength. And so here's what I'm talking about. Don't get too crazy, but you are going to have to round over shoulders. I mean, you are going to have to get in here and give him his little belly and too, especially with your hands. You guys don't have to make super aggressive cuts. It doesn't. I mean, you can come in here and make one big cut, yes, but you can come in here and make 25 little shaving cuts. And I mean, just that quick, you can. If you don't have a lot of hand strength, you can do this still pretty quickly. You just got to make sure your tools are sharp. Sharpness is the biggest thing to learn. I don't ever want to take too much off of here because, like I said, I'm going to need wood for arms and hands and all that type of jazz, so I don't ever get too crazy back there. Okay? Don't get nutsos. Somebody will probably scold me for this because they're gonna say, James, don't do it's too early to do your face. I'm gonna do my face. It's a very simple face. It's not anything crazy. I'm using some eyes that Kevin Applegate showed me a couple years ago when I got to, I've said that, I say this many times, I use that. It was a pretty good experience. Actually, it was a really good experience. Kevin's a super nice guy. Really fun to be around and carve with. But very, very helpful as somebody who wants to help you learn and get better. He's a CCA member, and I can see why, as far as representation of the, of the club, or of the carving, I don't know what you want to call it. It's Carvers of America, but anyway, really good representation. But I've got Sandy Smith in my club. She's a phenomenal carver. So I'm blessed to have some talent. Crap, I'm off there again. I'm blessed to have some talent around me to help me, for sure. So I'm just going in here, and it's funny because every wood carver I know does this. Like, hey, I'm going to do this, and they start seeing things, and they're like, oh, I don't like how that looks. I got to fix that. Like, it bothers them. And sometimes it bothers me. Now, I'll come back in here, guys, and I'll thin out this hair quite a bit, because nobody's hair is usually that thick, especially not a hillbilly's. I ain't never seen a hillbilly that, but I will come back in here and because that face is still not narrow enough for me. Right in there in the temple area. Gosh dog it. Sorry, I hope I didn't make anybody sick. Okay, anyway, so I'll come back in here and round the hat a little bit, because the brim now is just a little bit large. I don't really know what kind of a hat it is. It almost looks like a stocking type cap or something to me, but the picture's not super clear, so it is just a photocopy that they got out of a book, I'm sure. Probably Dwayne Gosnell's book, The Carving of the Hillbillies, I would guess. I think he did a book like that, if I remember right, but okay, so anyway, there it is. And I'm just going to come in here and do some, I don't know why this is bothering me right now like it is, but this, I got to put that split in there. I don't know, just bugs me. So I'll come in here with my detail knife, and this is a Drake detail knife, for anybody who's wondering. So again, I don't draw them. These are really simple. Like I said, these are kind of, Kevin Applegate kind of does more of a triangle. I kind of try to round them a little bit, and then I cut deep in over here, and then I just go straight across at the bottom. But then I come in here and take this out, so I get a little crow's foot right here. And then it's just really simple coming in here, and man, you're just taking out little tiny slivers of wood. To make that eyeball. Little tiny slivers. So I'm going to come in here, my hand in the way. I'm going to come in here and make a deep cut. I'm going to try and match that other side, which I used to use pencils and all that, and I just don't. And I'm not going to say it's because I'm awesome and I'm great. It's just, I don't know, I've just deviated. It's slower for me to do it that way. And I guess, prefer not to. So, maybe it's laziness. I don't know. I'm just carving, usually. And a lot of times for me, I'm not even carving anything I just carve. Like, I might set out to do something and then it changes and I got to turn it into something else because it just doesn't come out the way I thought it should or would. And then, you know, so like right in here, I'm just going to do the smile line, which is going to be his also his mustache, his mustachio. And now you guys see why I leave extra wood. Because for some reason I have a real issue with my noses being the way I like them. I don't know. I'm still not happy with the way most of my noses turn out. Now this is one I'm not going to do a whole lot of crazy undercut on. But I will come in and do a little bit of undercut real lightly to kind of set that nose out. Kind of set that. Okay, and then from here I just come in and kind of find my center. Like I said, we're doing something really pretty easy. Okay. Now that I've done that, I'm going to come in here and set my cheek. So let me trim this off right here before I do that so I can feather it. There we go. So now I'm going to come here. You already see me set that other cheek. And I'm just going to connect the dots because I've got his beard coming out of here. And then I just run around and connect that. And then I just really gently set that cheek out a little bit. And I come back and I just kind of knock the edge off of that cheek. Give it basically like a little V cut. And I just kind of soften that cheek just a little bit, just by giving it a little. That little chip just rounds. You can see right there, it just rounds that over. Just a little bitty chip, little bitty. And same thing over here. I'll come from the cheek, and I'll come around, and I'll come up to the corner. And then I'll come back, and I'll just real lightly with just the tip. This took me a while to learn. how to not get super deep into undercutting into my other beard, or into the cheek in this case, I mean. And like I said, if you need to, just come in here and clip that little corner, and it'll make that cheek look round. And then I just come in and round off this little hard edge right here, which now kind of, you know, gives us that mouth area. His face, and some people, like I said, will say, "Oh, James, it was too early. You know, his eye's not quite the way I want it." Come in and take out that little. Take out that little sliver. Sometimes for some of those fuzzy, you just need a brush. Like I said, I'll come in here and thin this up to match the other side just a little bit. There we go. Now we're ready to move on. Clean up some of my tools here real quick. Okay. So here I'm going to come back with the tool, because I'm going to kind of set in where my hands are going to be. Okay, so that's going to kind of be my hands. And come right up the center here. Do the split for the legs. Do the hands. So bottom of the legs, hands. Yeah, my hands are not quite big enough. So this is why I don't go super deep, guys. Because that's why I leave plenty of wood just in case I make a boo-boo like this right here. Bottom of my hands are good. Okay, I didn't quite make my hands large enough, so I'm good with where the bottom of my hands were. What I am not good with was where the top of my hands were. I want more like big hands on little guys. Okay, and that's just gonna be my arms right there. You don't have to go crazy. You just need a representation. Okay, just the representation. A lot of times will do the trick. You don't have to get crazy. But now you've got to set this back, because obviously if you've got hands and arms, if you put your arms behind your back, they're usually going to stick out farther than the rest of you. So you don't have to go crazy. Again, taper this in. You're going to do the back of the legs. Same here. This is going to make the bottom of the arm. But you're going to taper this in. Now, the feet, where you want the feet. I like big feet. Again, a lot of times I don't leave enough. For my opinion, I don't leave enough. I don't make my feet big enough. I like almost big old clown looking feet. But again, here's where you're going to come in. You're going to, unless you're just making a dude with a big old pot belly. You're going to be amazed at how much wood that as you start taking this up, how much wood you're going to end up with. You know, the feet didn't look that big until you start cutting in, getting rid of the under the arms and making the belly, and okay. And all of a sudden it's like, well, hold on, now I got what I didn't think was very big. Now I got some wood. Guys, remember on your feet, this is something that my feet always looked really, really weird to me. And this is what I finally figured out I was doing wrong. So if you look at your feet have a taper to them. You know what I mean? If you look at your feet are like this. And the same with the inside of your. So I'm going to come up here, start to make his leg opening. But when I do this, this is one thing I haven't done that I'm starting to figure out, is I kind of come in here and I angle this. Because what I'm figuring out is I come in here and cut this big old V out of here, right? And I end up having this funky looking foot, it seems like. And I have this material that I wish that I would have had, that I don't have. But that I wish I would have had. So see, now you'll come in here and you'll start to taper this back. And this will begin to take form, take shape. Don't dig. Don't dig like that, guys. You'll break tips. That's why my tips have all had to been redone sometimes, because I do silly, knowing I shouldn't do it, yet I still do it. But I'm horrible at these. If I had one thing that I wish I could figure out, it's how to stay in and make that same cut and not screw up that and have all those little slices of wood. Maybe before I die, I'll figure that out. Maybe, if I'm lucky. Okay. So one place that you can think, man, wow, look at his feet. Like, how's he going to separate the shoe? And this is always amazes me when I do this. Because I always think, man, it's just not right when I taper those shoes in there like that, right? Until I make this one cut, and then they always pop out. So here's going to be my leg separation again. I don't know why the back always seems so much easier to me to separate. Or at least make it look right in the separation. The front just seems so much harder. I don't know why. Anyway. Okay, so here's the cut that I'm talking about right here. So I just take this corner to corner, right? And then a lot of times I just buzz this edge off while I still got some meat there. But then as soon as I do this, I make this long, shallow, tapered cut. It separates the shoes and the pants. And I'm always so amazed at how that just makes the shoe like pop out. You taper that back like that. Just amazes me. It always has and probably always will. And then I just try to kind of come in here and round this a little bit, understanding that my shoe should have a little bit of a taper to it like that. Then I just come in here and undercut them. Show a little shadow, because as everybody, if you've listened to very many wood carvers, they will tell you shadows, 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 shadows. If you make shadows, everything works out so much better. Everything revolves around those shadows. And that's what this line cut right here is like. When you look at them like that, it's all about just the little bit of shadow that it casts onto it. And the same way here, you know, a little bit of taper. But then you just want to round them just a little bit. And this is one of the things I used to do wrong. All of a sudden I would taper off and I'd cut all my foot away, and then end up with these little bitty, you know, these little bitty shoes. And I'm like, I like the clown feet look. And that's probably because I'm a character carver and I like the look of not so much the clown feet, but I like the big hands, and I like the, oh, just like that look. I think the hardest part about wood carving for me a lot of times is just getting symmetry, making it look the same. So I just take that little triangle. Guys, triangles are your friends in wood carving, like, seriously. So just adding that little cut adds that shadow, makes that just stand out that much more. And like I said, I just come around through here and go all the way around this way. Oop, see? Look at that, didn't even hurt that hardly. There's the rubber where I got my glove. You can barely even see it. There's a little nick right there. So, I mean, it happens. That's why we wear them, guys. Listen to me. Always, 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 always wear your gloves. Now, the nice part, if you're not wearing your gloves, if you're crazy enough to not wear your gloves, is most of, even if people have dull knives and they complain like, oh, my knives are not sharp, these cuts heal really fast, because even though you think your knife, I mean, for wood, it's not sharp. For your finger, it's extremely sharp. Okay, so there we are. So now I'll come in here and give that separation. And then here's where I'm going to slim this. there's my big old meats. Okay. I'll make this not quite so blocky. I will take a little triangle out right there to show like the pits, you know, where that would be at. Okay, so now I'll come in here and I'll deepen this little line right here. And then right here at what would be the crotch, the legs, whatever you want to call it. Just put me in a little triangle. Kind of shows the split of where the legs will be. Now I will come in here and take this back just a hair. I'll probably have to redo that split because he sticks out a little much. So there we go. So now it's as simple as coming in here and putting in these little marks right here for his, you can do them like this if you want, for his overalls. Okay. You just come back here and cut it this way. Be careful. Make that little separation in there. Now you got his overalls, because now you're going to come over here and you're going to make his other strap. I just run the strap right down there to his armpit. And look, you don't have to get extremely wild right here. Look, think about the thickness. This is something that somebody told me a while back. They said, think about the thickness of clothing. How thick, you know, when you make your hair, which I don't always do, because I usually do it after the fact, and I think, oh wow, like, you know, X, Y, or Z is not nearly that thick. But then it's too late. You know, you may not have the wood to put back, or you know, you've cut too much already, or you know, whatever the case may be. So, not a lot you can do. So here's the separation of his hands. Remember, your hands are not big square blocks, so you kind of do want to round them just to, I mean, you don't have to get crazy, but you do kind of want to round them. And then look, somewhere there's a sleeve. So you want to cut that hand back to that sleeve. try to be close to the same, you know, try to be close to the same size. Cut that back to your hand. Okay. Here's where I will come in and kind of undercut in some spots, just to make it look more separated. Okay. Then I do have this little bitty, well, I was going to use the V, but a lot of times I just use this. This just kind of gives me, makes it the impression of, you know, fingers. And then I just come back and really lightly score this out, make it deep, again, shadow. And then I try to cut in right here, and I cut little triangles out, which then makes it look like you got fingers. And if you cut this one back just a little bit shorter, kind of makes it look like a thumb. So see, here's where I was talking about. See how thick that hair is? Ain't nobody got some hair that thick. At least no hillbillies that I know anyway. So I'll just come in here and kind of knock that down a little bit. And I've got to taper, crap. I got to taper that in anyway to the head. Okay. So pretty much there we go. I'm right at an hour just to do that right there. Okay. So with that being said, I don't usually use a Sharpie, but I kind of liked using a Sharpie today. First time I've ever used it, really, other than to do eyes. So to do my rocks, I don't know, if you live in Arkansas, you get all kinds of goofy shapes. And they're never square. Hardly ever do you see one that's, you know, they usually got a little bit of curvature. Okay, so that is how I set up my rocks. Then I have this handy dandy Swiss made. It's a 45 1/4 inch. Actually, I think it's like a 10 millimeter. They do theirs in millimeters, and so, but this sweep makes it really, really nice for coming in here and doing this type of stuff. You can really work it around. Give me just a second. I think somebody's at my door. Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
I got that on my old wood stove back there.
Yep.
It's good back there.
All right. If it starts, it's guaranteed to crack.
Oh, no,
No, it will because it's wood. So if you start to see any of that, it's sealed. But if you do start to see cracks show up, get you some linseed oil or something like that, and keep it on those cracks, and it'll keep it from doing that. So
stuff like that there, I always put oil on them anyway.
okay,
Yeah,
if you keep it oiled, you'll be good there.
Yeah, any of my wood stuff over there, I'll oil at least once a month.
Oh, okay.
You know,
You probably only need to do it
I've always done that.
probably twice a year.
Yeah,
But if you see it, just make sure you get some on it.
well, now, you didn't say anything about cracking, man.
Yeah, it's guaranteed.
Guaranteed
to
crack.
For sure. Thanks,
Okay,
buddy.
I'll get that to you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Okay,
You have a good day.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. That was my neighbor. Bought the cardinal off of me. He wanted the cardinal. So anyway, this is what I do, okay? Really, really simple. It's probably even simpler if you live in a state that maybe has, we don't have a lot of shale where I'm at. I know there's shale here. Usually I think it's down closer to southern Arkansas or central Arkansas. We have a little bit of it here, but not a ton. If we do, I don't notice it. I notice a little bit on like the Buffalo National River when we float it. I'll see some. That's still an hour away from where I'm at. Okay, so once you get all of them, in there, you can leave it like that if you want. I don't care for it. I mean, it's okay. But now I come in with my knife. I make some spots really thick. I make some other spots fairly narrow. But then I come in here and I open up that center. And here's that shadow that you're going to be talking about, that you're going to be seeing. So, like down here, I'll cut that in. Then like here, I'm going to get that knife in there pretty deep. Probably a good 1/8 of an inch at least. I get a little booger hanging there. Okay. So then as I come back, so look, you can see that knife tip's in there that much. May even be 3/30 seconds. There's a little booger hanging, so you can pick that dude out of there. So now here's a spot where I'll do a really good triangle, because this is a really good spot. So you can really get some depth in that. Like I said, I won't go deep all over. Some of them I'll just, I'll just kind of leave the, like right here, I'll just end up leaving this, like you would actually see when I'm fishing on the river or on the lake when they're You know, you see the rocks sticking out of the bluffs, and you got these great big ledges of almost like a shelf, you know. Some of them big enough that you can sit and have lunch on. You know, and some of these I'll just leave, but I'll deepen up the top crack, maybe the bottom crack to get rid of that marker. But then I'll leave that center, other than getting that booger out of there, I'll just leave the center kind of shallow. And sometimes I'll just make one up and I don't like the way it looks. Look, there's all your rocks. You know, maybe even right here on this corner, I might come in and just take a chip out of it. This one I will run up in between his feet like that. You know, if you've ever been to my neck of the woods, it's not uncommon to see a big chip missing. You know, something hit it, whatever. And here's the cool part, you can leave these overcuts because they look like they're meant to be there. This thing's almost done, honestly. The only other thing I do is I come through with a number 9. I think it's a 1/4. I don't know, let me measure it and see, because I don't even know. I don't want to tell you guys wrong. I think this one is bigger because... Oh, yeah, this is like, what is it, 7/16? Oh, no, this is the 3/8. I come through with the 3/8. And then, like I said, where I come from, none of our rocks are completely flat or smooth, so I don't do it to all of them. But I will in spots come through here and deepen a section up. Because that's how our rocks look here, and that's what I'm familiar with. And so they'll say, you know, you carve what you know. And so that's exactly what I do. Because that's the only thing I know how to do. You run into that crack, maybe that's what caused that crack. I do see one spot that I was going to run up in there that I missed. And that's right here. Okay. And folks, that's pretty much here it is. So if you're in northern Arkansas, first weekend of May, I don't remember what the dates are currently, but if you're going to be around, first weekend of May, North Arkansas Woodcarvers show. It's free to get in. Come check them out. This is going to be a raffle. And so you can put your name in for the raffle, buy a couple of tickets or whatever it is that they're doing. My handwriting is not great. My signature is even worse when I'm trying to hold it on something like this. But James Dismore, you get the deal done in 23. So there you go. So I hope you had it. Hour and 12 minutes, start to finish. That's with my instruction on here. So yeah, it doesn't quite take me that long to do one of these when I don't have the camera or the phone holding up doing this and trying to keep it in frame and all that, because I can just do what's more comfortable and all that. So anyway, YouTube, like, subscribe, and some share. This will also be on my Instagram and Facebook page, if I can get them to upload anyway. I don't know, hour and 12. Ooh, I don't know if that'll load on any of them. So anyway, thanks again. Have a good day, and take care.